had a note. There it is. Okay. Okay, so Charlotte kind of asked a question. This is one of her questions that she was thinking about, but didn't go with the topic of protein last week. And her question was, basically, and you can correct me if I say this wrong, Charlotte, okay? Lowering your sugar, because like you don't want sugar, you have cravings. Would you want to go towards sugar more or go towards salty? Is that right? Is that the right way to say it? You might be able to say it better than me.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, is it better to choose like a salty snack, or are they both gonna be bad for you?
Okay, so I'm gonna answer that here. Sugar is the worst that you should pick. Okay? I would never, fine if it's like your day off. Sometimes we talk about you've got an 80-20. You can have that moment that you can have something sweet. Normally they say eat 3 things and it will make you satisfied. Then you can be done with it and move on. But if you feel like you got to eat something and then you eat it and then you feel shameful, it's going to make you want to eat it more. So be okay with having that something. I'm going to have one. It is my cheat moment. I get to have it 5 times a week at most. Okay? Just know that whatever you eat as far as sugar goes is going to take you a step back a little bit. It doesn't mean you're going to gain a pound. Okay? You have to eat like 1,300 calories to gain a pound. But it might hinder you back a little bit because it's also going to make you crave. So that as far as sugar goes, okay? So if you have sugar, know that it's going to make you crave. Put it on that possibility that you might want more food after that. So why do I say no sugar preferred? That's why, okay? Now, as far as saltines, salty stuff, chips, they're high in fat. We eat the cheesy penguins. They are salty. You can add saltiness to your eggs and food and stuff like that. That's perfectly fine. But know that if you add a lot of salt to your diet, now you need to up your water. Because the salt is going to be an electrolyte. So the more salt you have, the more water you need to be able to equalize your cells. So I hope that kind of helps. You can have both, but know what the consequence is for both. Now, are you going to gain more if you have salt? Anybody know that answer?
What was the question?
Are you going to gain more if you eat salt?
You retain water, but I don't think you gain more, do you?
You might gain more.
Salt it has no calories.
Right.
So just because it has salt doesn't mean you're going to gain weight.
No, but you can from the water. Like water weight, you can gain that. So you have that possibility. As far as sugar, can you gain weight? If you eat a lot after eating it. So you have to mentally have that self-control. I'm going to have sugar, and that is all I'm going to have. After that, I still have to eat my regular intake. Does that help? Okay.
But if you eat protein, you shouldn't have those kinds of craving, correct?
Yes, for the most part. If you're eating the right amount of protein for where you're wanting to be at, that could be a possibility of that you won't have that craving at all. Okay, sorry, I am back. I don't know how much of that I got for her, so I might have to repeat it later. Okay, so we were having technical difficulty last night. Sorry, Kayla, not a lot of it got recorded. Basically, what I was covering at the point of the water and protein, the protein at the end of that, was that protein, if you have your protein, you have to have the right amount for keeping you full. So then not only do you need your protein, the right amount, but you also need your water. Because between the two is what's going to keep you full, so that you're not craving as much. I don't know if I will cover everything here that we talked about, but I will at least give the main points so that you will have it. So we got talking about what kind of meals you should have. And then we also talked about, so we covered, you should have 5 meals. You should have protein at every meal. You should have a carb of some sort at every. And then we talked about fat. We talked about how you should have fat. It helps your hormones. We talked about the 4 kinds of fat, the trans, the saturated, the mono, and the poly. And the mono and the poly are the best ones that you want. Poly has the omega-3s. And then the trans is going to be the worst. It's going to be the one thing that you want to try to pull out of your diet as much as possible. This is going to be in things like the boxed foods. I don't know if I said that last night, but that's what that's going to be. Saturated is going to be in everything. The lower you can have of saturated fat, the better off it will be. And so both trans and saturated cause cancer. Trans causes a lot of diabetes and other chronic diseases that you can get. So if you can subtract these 2 as much as possible, then add the poly and the mono as much as possible, the better off you will be. But you can't get away from saturated fat. Saturated fat is in like almost everything, unfortunately. And then we got talking about how much fat should you have. We were talking about the chronometer. The chronometer will tell you that where you hit your 100% according to your weight and your height. But you don't want to quite hit 100%. You want it to be more of like 75%. So my number would be like, I think it's 23.3. And then, so I would want to have like closer to 15, 17, somewhere in that area. So you want fat for your hormones. And so you have to have it. Otherwise, your hormones will be off. Now we got talking about the older you get, the more you have to have it. You're not going to feel it as much as being when you're like in your 20s and you're eating your junk food and all that kind of stuff. But once you get up into your 35, 40 range, then you have to have it. And the reason for that is because your hormones are changing like crazy at that point. And so you don't want to mess them up even more. And so if you eat right, the better off you can get through that, what do you call it, menopause, whatever, and get into menopause with no issues. It is very hard. You have a lot of symptoms from joints to the hot sweats to crazy attitudes. So you want to keep those in check, and the way you do that is by eating the right foods. We got talking about was another question. Oh, how much protein? That was a good one. Tanya brought that up. How much protein should you be eating? I'm sorry for any noises that are above me right now. I have older children trying to take care of younger children and they're walking back and forth. So how much protein should you be eating? Well, the protein you want to have, to stay where you're at, you want to have your weight in grams. So let's say I weigh 160, that means that I want to have 160 grams to stay at 160. Now, that is a lot. And I don't know anybody that even gets close to that. That is like having 3 of my smoothies with Greek yogurt and collagen in it. It's got protein. You're gonna have to have 2 or 3 protein bars and 2 chickens and 2 hamburgers and maybe even more than that just to top off to 160. That is a lot. Could even have the eggs with cottage cheese and still be fine. It is a lot. Now, when you work with me one-on-one, I normally say, I want you to look at your protein and I want you to think about where your want to weight is, okay? Let's just say that I want to weigh 130 pounds, okay? You're gonna aim for 130. Are you going to be perfect? Are you gonna be right on the dot 130? More than likely, not. Okay, so you could be a little bit low and a little bit high, but your aim would be around 130. So if you get 120, that's great. If you 135, that is just as good. Okay, so you're aiming for where you want to be in your weight. I feel like there was we had a lot of chatting last night. Sorry, Kayla, you missed it. It was a good study last night in class. And if anybody remembers anything else, good points, bad points, anything down below, go ahead and throw them in because I don't think I'm going to remember them all. All right. I will talk to you guys later. Bye for now.